Dexter Resurrection, Episode 1, titled The Beating Heart. Now, this episode, of course, is the beginning of the sequel series, the second sequel series of Dexter, because you had the original series, then you had New Blood, and now we have Resurrection, and of course, this is the second Dexter show in the past, 7 months. In the last 7 months, we have two Dexter shows, because we had the prequel series, Original Sin, that was taking on, exploring relationships between Harry and Dexter. Dexter's first couple of weeks in Miami Metro, and him becoming the Dexter that we all know from the original series. Now with this episode is the return to modern day. Now, when the last time we met modern day Dexter, he got shot. Got shot in the snow by his son Harrison. Harrison drove away, clearly to New York, and Dexter was just bleeding out. But 10 weeks later, he has woken up. Dexter is woken up to a hospital, and he's recovering. So, the idea of this episode, and I think it is quite smart that they premiered this show, these 10 episodes, for the first week, being the first 2 episodes. I think that's a quite smart way, because this episode is kind of slow. This is clearly like, look, we need to set up the groundwork. With the whole concept, and I'm diving into spoilers here, guys. I'm sorry, but I'm diving into spoilers. So we're diving into the concept of what is this story about, or at least at the beginning, what this story is about. That it's about, Harrison, who's trying to move over and trying to live his own life in New York. He's a hotel clerk, and he falls under a situation that acquires him to murder someone. And he freaks out, and oddly enough, surprisingly enough, it fits the code, and understandably so, it fits the code. And he freaks out, tries his hardest to get rid of the body, but the body is found. Which makes Dexter move his butt out of that hospital and onto New York. Now, as I said, it's a slow episode. It is a very slow. It's kind of fine, really, because of the setting out where it's all the stuff that is interesting is not with Dexter, because Dexter, he's just recovering. He's been in a coma for 10 weeks. His legs are not working, so he needs to, get back to shape. So it makes sense why this episode would have been the most fantastic opening of all Dexter premieres. But the Hanson story is interesting, and the concept of, hey, the moment you thought your father was dead, he comes up. He comes around and saves the day. You know what I mean? But I do have some actual issues. Like, just some characters I don't find that interesting at this point. Like the New York police officers, who show up investigating the body, and I just don't find them appealing. Clearly, the lady police officer or Wednesday or whatever her role is, clearly she's meant to be like this Sherlock Holmes type character who, does things for quite differently and points to all these things and things that people, like, one little detail connects to the whole thing, and Mike is trying to have, like, what if Dexter met like another Dexter who might have the same brain as her, the same brain as his. So it could be that situation. I just, at the point, I don't find her that interesting in character, but you never know. We might find out a little bit more about her that makes me invested in what's going on with her than, say, just quite deadpan, one-note character. The Angel stuff, I mean, I immediately knew. Yeah, as much as he's like, his a Miami sandwich. Hey, I'm all hugs, and I'm going to be your friend. I was like, no. This is Dexter on a manhunt. Angel is on a manhunt on Dexter because he knows now Dexter's alive, and he's thinking, oh shit, maybe. Greta, Quinn, Dokes, and was it Angela? See, New Blood, like, look, as much as I remember, like, liking it, I don't remember much what happened in New Blood. I don't remember it. What happened? But his Dexter's girlfriend in that show, who was a police officer, so said, linked everything together and said, Dexter's the main of the butcher. So clearly it is okay. I need to catch him in the act. I need to, Angel's kind of like, I need to catch him in the act. All that. By the way, the incident that happens, Harrison, the guy that Harrison killed. I don't know. Would that be look? I don't understand clearly it's manslaughter. Clearly it would be under manslaughter. But I'm like, knowing the situation that it was, it could. I don't know. I don't say self-offense, but it has to be some legal thing going on. There has to be some legal thing going on that would make Harrison understand why he did what he did. So maybe he didn't have to chop his body up. Maybe the guy's body up, because the moment that girl that we met earlier in the episode before the incident happens, I'm like, I immediately knew what was happening. I immediately knew that this guy, this girl, is pretending that it's his wife, or she just had a couple drinks too much, and all that. And I'm like, Harrison, you need to do something. You have to do something, because what's around the corner. You know what's about to happen, and I was like, good on you standing up for this girl. Maybe push him, maybe punch him, maybe fight him off a little bit, and then drag, and help her off the bed to guide her, basically guide her back to her own room. But I don't know. I mean, look, murder is bad. I get it. but then legally it'll probably be under he said, she said, right? If she found out, if it would be nothing, he said, she said, it would be. It probably would be if it was. This is the problem with the legal system. Sometimes the thing needs to happen so that person can be accused. It's fucked up. Yeah. But yeah. But I was like, in the back of my head, I was thinking, there has to be is that a bit of a loophole? Could Harrison not go to jail after accidentally murdering a heavy, basically a rapist, a attempt, basically calling him in the act? Like, is there a loophole? Probably there isn't. Probably there isn't. I'm about to say, I'm not doming it. I'm just like thinking, like, in the context of the show, is that anyway? And of course we have a little glimpse of Uma Thurman's character. We don't know her name or anything. We just see her sneaking through a house, gets a book. There's apparently an invitation to something. So we don't know what that entails. But anyway, comment below. Let me know your thoughts of this episode. Clearly, I thought it was fine. I thought this episode was just fine.